Hey, what's going on, good people? We have made it to the first episode of Keeping It Honest with AP with yours truly, Al Punter. I'm so glad you can join me this evening. Let me just give you a little bit of what I have to say regarding this show, podcast, whatever you want to call it. Stacy, my dear friend, how you doing? So, what I'm going to do is this. Every Monday night, we're going to keep it honest. It's going to be different topics based on my experience that I went through. Hopefully, I can encourage you all. Hopefully, I can, inspire you all. Hopefully, I can just do something to have an impact and do my part to help edify the kingdom of God. So what's going to happen is this. So every Monday night, the fourth Monday, I'm going to break it up. Because, we all are going through something. We all got things going on. The world is going crazy. So the last Monday of each month, I'm going to call it Fun Monday. Meaning, I'm going to discuss some topic that's fun in nature. It could be, top 5 TV shows of the 90s or whatever the case may be. Favorite cartoons. Something fun that we can do to, get away from life. But I'm going to do that on the 4th Mondays of every month. But Mondays 1, 2, and 3, we're going to dig into some stuff. So, and I'm not going to be that long, probably be about 30, 45 minutes tops, because I know everybody's attention spans ain't long. Everybody is ready to log off and do what you need to do. Plus, it's a weeknight. We all got to go to work the next day. So, with that said, let me go ahead and get started with what I'm going to talk about for the night. So, I'm going to talk about life's fumbles. And when we think of the word fumble, I don't know about you all, the first thing I think about is an NFL football game. Because when the team fumbles the ball, it can cost them the game, it can cost them a touchdown, etc. That's where we usually hear the word fumble. However, in life, we have fumbles. We have plenty of fumbles. I've had plenty of fumbles. Seriously, in my life. And I'm going to dig into all of those fumbles, whether it was in the workplace, in church, in ministry, and especially in relationships. Man, that is the big one right there. That I have so much to unpack regarding relationship fumbles. But for those that are watching, Stacey, I see you there. What are some fumbles that you have had in your life? Some fumbles that you were like, oh my God, I can't believe I messed this up. I can't believe I fumbled this. I can't believe that I just dropped the ball on this one. Yeah, we all have. We all have. And when you look back on it, I know I usually do a lot of self-reflection. And when I look back on some of the fumbles I have in my life, I'm like, good God, if it wasn't for His grace and His mercy. Because I've had fumbles. Let me just start here. Let me just start with fumbles on the job. So, back about, I would say 20-something years ago. Actually more than that. I would say early 2000s. I had a bit of an attitude problem. A major attitude problem. And I didn't like people telling me what to do. And I remember working for Blue Cross and Blue Shield. And some of my supervisors and managers, I just thought they were just always picking at me for no reason. And just doing the most. When I let myself to try to be a man's everything, big fumble. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. So, going back to working at Blue Cross, I did not like some of my supervisors and the managers that I had because I just thought they were just always picking at me. So, what I would do is I would just cop an attitude and I would half do my job. And I wouldn't do all the work necessary. I would get lazy. I would be like, whatever. That was my attitude, whatever. And what happened was, even though I was at work every day, even though I showed up on time, my attitude kept me from getting promotions. Positions would come up, I would apply for them. Didn't get it. My work was good, but my attitude stunk. My attitude cost me some positions. My attitude pretty much fumbled a lot of my ability to better myself on the job. My attitude, it stunk. I hate to say this. I was named Junior for a reason. I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. I'm Junior for a reason. I took so much after my dad. But yeah, my attitude was a reason I fumbled a lot. Insecurity. Low confidence. Those contributed to a lot of my fumbles in the workplace because I wasn't sure of myself. I lacked the confidence. I didn't think I could do the job. And on top of then having my attitude, you mix that all together. That was a big fumble. Huge fumble. And I thank God where I'm at now, because now it's like my attitude is checked at the door, because God had to check my attitude a long time ago. Because it was costing me things. It was, and I'll get into the whole attitude in relationships. So me talking about my attitude, this is not going to be the last time you hear about my attitude this evening at all. So my attitude really was a stickler. I mean, it stuck out where it was just like, whatever. And I carried that attitude, and it cost me some promotions. I probably could have been a manager or get into a higher position when I was looking for Blue Cross and Blue Shield at the time. I was there almost 10 years. I probably could have been if it wasn't for my attitude. So that cost me to fumble promotion and increase in pay. I fumbled increase in pay and promotion because of my attitude. And it happens. But you have to check yourself at the door and fix that, because if you don't fix that attitude, you're going to do a whole lot of fumbling. A whole lot of fumbling. All right. Right, Stacey. Right. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. Yes. What else? I mean, I can go on and on about fumbling in the workplace. There was another job I had. I didn't like where I was at. I felt it was a dead-end job. And what did I do? I did half of the work. Again, this is in my 20s and some of my early 30s, when my attitude was just terrible. And nobody knew I had this attitude, because I was always so nice. Because I knew how to mask it up. I put on the church face. I knew how to act in front of certain people. But then when I got into situations where I didn't like something or I didn't like people, my attitude shifted. My attitude straight shifted. For real. And it cost me a lot, because I didn't have my attitude in check. And that was heartbreaking, because I'm always wondering how come I couldn't get ahead in the workplace. Getting promoted, getting an increase in pay. A lot of it was my attitude. I fumbled that. I so fumbled that. And let's talk about ministry. Oh my God. Let's not even get started on that one. I realize there's different ways we can fumble in ministry. One, when we overcommit. Because we feel like we are super duper Christian, and we have to commit to everything and every volunteer opportunity that presents itself. We'll tell pastor, yep, I got it, pastor. Yep, I'll be a part of that. Oh, yep, I'll definitely help out with that. We fumble because we overcommit. Now, we know we can't do everything in church. It's only one of us. How can we do 25 different things in church? Unless we had 25 different versions of us. We don't. It's only one of us. And when we do things like overcommit, we can fumble in ministry. If we can stumble, it'll cause us to mess up one area because we're trying to balance everything out because we're committed to another area, and we become tired, we become stressed, we become overwhelmed, and it's one big fumble in ministry. And I've done it. I was that person that used to do everything. Yep, I got it. Yep, I got you. Yep, I volunteer for this. Yep, I volunteer for that. Yep, I do this, I do that. And I fumbled because it was overwhelming. I could not do everything at one time. I couldn't. It was only me. But I felt because I want to be super duper Christian in the church and make myself look like I'm this and I'm that. I fumbled a lot because my lack of ability to not commit to everything. Risk Center, what's going on? Prophetess Crawford, what's going on? Welcome, welcome. So yeah, I fumbled a lot in ministry because I overcommitted. Another way you can fumble in ministry is when you don't say no. Raise your hand if you have had a problem saying no in church. I've had in the past problems saying no to people. Because, people, especially church folks, they have a way of getting you to commit to something that you really don't want to commit to. You really don't. You don't want to be bothered. You really don't want to volunteer for that, whatever the opportunity is. But they have a way of getting you to say yes to something that you really don't want to be a part of. And what happens is because you really don't want to be a part of it, you're going to half step. You're not going to really be into it. You're going to be going through the motions because we don't know how to say no to people. Yes, they make you feel bad when you say no in church. Trust me, I've had that happen in my past experiences. Thank God not at where I'm at now. Place of Change here in Chesapeake, Virginia. Been there, since January 2012. If you say no, hey, they embrace that because they don't believe in overworking people. But in my past, I've had experiences where people have made me feel bad for saying no in church. And because I said yes, I fumbled because I really wasn't into it. I was going through the motions. All right, let me see. I think we fumble in ministry because we might be doing things for man, pastor, or our ego, and God did not ask us to do any of that. Woo! Our ego will cost us to fumble in ministry because we have to look like we up in the front. We here. Oh, pastor asked me to do so-and-so. I gotta do it. Knowing fully well God did not call you to that area. I mean, you don't like kids. Why are you saying yes to youth ministry? Why are you saying yes to youth ministry and you don't like kids? That is a big fumble. You are going to fumble that assignment. Because that's not where you're supposed to be. That's not where God called you to be. But because you want to look like, yep, I can do it. I'm super. Ego. Ego makes you say yes. Ego makes you commit. And now you are fumbling over youth ministry. The kids ain't learning nothing because you really don't want to be there doing it because you really don't like kids, but you committed yourself to it because of ego. I'm telling y'all, church, if you don't handle yourself correctly in church, in ministry, you're going to fumble a lot. You have to really, really be in alignment with God and what He wants you to do. If it's not an area that He called you to, you better not do it. You're going to fumble it. If you don't know how to say no, you're going to fumble it. If you're going to overcommit yourself, you are going to fumble it. I'm telling you from experience, I fumbled because I didn't know how to say no. I overcommitted, and my ego. What? They asked Mr. Al to do this. Yes, I'll do it. Man, listen. I'm so glad I'm delivered from that. Because even though I have a title, I really don't want to be in the front. I really don't. I really want to be behind the scenes. But, God says otherwise. I'm not so quick to jump up anymore. Like I did in my younger years. I'll be like, you got it? All right, bet, cool. I'm praying for you. I got your back. I don't jump up and do everything no more. I pick and choose. And not only that, I have to listen to what God is saying. Because if I don't hear what God is saying or where He wants me at, as far as ministry-wise and things that I should be doing, I'm going to fumble. And I have fumbled. And when you fumble in ministry, not only do you get embarrassed, people are going to let you know you fumbled. Because church folks ain't going to let you not hear about it, pretty much. They're going to let you know you fumbled the ball. And they have a way of letting you know maybe you shouldn't be doing that again. And they are right. We should be doing things in ministry that we ain't got no business doing. Stay in your lane. That's what I always say. Stay in your God lane. Whatever lane He gives you, that's what you do. If you know you're not supposed to be on the praise and worship team, well, I'm going to leave that one alone. Because we've all have seen people that probably had no business on the praise and worship team, but leading praise and worship. But, I will leave that one alone. But yes, fumble in ministry. And let me talk about one that is probably the area of my life I have fumbled the most in. Relationships. Woo! Listen. Relationships and me. Fumble liar, fumble rooski, fumble everything. I have fumbled. And the reason why I fumble, attitude, insecurities, not being healed, ego, stubbornness, not willing to compromise, you name it, is the reason why I fumbled in relationships. Even in my marriages, I fumbled because I wasn't everything that I needed to be. I was not the husband I needed to be because of things I had going on internally that I would not get help in. I fumbled. I remember there was a time where, I was asked, hey, maybe you need to go get counseling. I said no, I would not. I am now about counseling. I have a therapist. I go once a month. But back then, oh no, I was too stubborn. My ego was too high to go get counseling. Oh no, I didn't need no help. I'll be okay. Knowing fully well I wasn't okay. And I was causing damage to the marriage. Which ultimately led in divorce. I fumbled. Even outside of the marriage, I had a lot of great people that I connected with. A lot of great people that I could have been in a relationship with. But because of different situations, my mindset, my attitude, my fear, my heart not being right, I fumbled those relationships. I fumbled them. Listen, counseling in the Word is great. Jesus, listen, for me, it's about Jesus and the couch. They go hand in hand. Because, listen, we got to go to the doctor to go get a physical, right? We go to the doctor when we get sick, right? So why don't we go to see a therapist when our minds aren't right? Because in the church for a long time, that was taboo. Especially as a Christian. But we go get everything else checked out. No, go get your mind checked. Mental health is wonderful. It really is. And I am a big proponent of going to get therapy. Please, if you need therapy, go get it. Because prayer works. You add therapy to that, you are good. Because God can use a therapist to help you and heal you in the mind. Prayer alone might not do it. Go see a therapist. But getting back to me and fumbling my relationships, y'all, about a month or so ago, I remember I was laying in my bed. I woke up one morning. I woke up out of my sleep, and I was just out of the blue. It was like a Rolodex in my head. I started going through every relationship I've ever been in. And I was just thinking about how I fumbled the ball in those relationships. I just started thinking about different things that I did. And like, maybe if I did this, we could have worked out. Maybe if I did that, we would have lasted. I spoke to my therapist about it. Because I remember, because I think I had a therapy appointment that following week. And I told her about, I was just running in my head about how I fumbled relationships. And she told me, don't allow that to keep you from trying again. Because I'm going to be honest with you, y'all. I'm scared to get in another relationship. And pray for me. Only because of my past and how, every time I got in one, everything seemed good. Then I fumbled. So there's like a little fear there. And my therapist is helping me get through that. Talking about, dude, you are a good individual. Go out. Just go out. But I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest with you all. Because I don't want to fumble any more relationships. And I thank God for grace and mercy, because God has really dealt with me in a lot of areas over the last, several years, where I am now healed. I know how to, I'm secure in who I am. I have more confidence now than I've ever had before in my life. So I thank God for his grace and his mercy that he has touched me in a way where I'm healed from a lot of those past, internal things that I dealt with. But man, listen, y'all pray for a brother. Y'all really. Y'all pray for me. Cause it's like, yeah, I want to get in a relationship. I want to be married again. I want to have a happy ever after. But I think about those fumbles. And I don't want to fumble no more. So, yeah. I told y'all, I'm being real. I'm going to keep it honest. I'm keeping it all the way honest with y'all. This is what this is about. So, yeah, I'm just hoping that me saying this is helping somebody, because it's real out here. About some of the things that we go through because of past experiences. And, we don't want to relive that. It's like watch... Yes, Riston, I'll talk to you. We'll talk. Okay. Listen, you just found out my brother was my brother. So, we got a lot to catch up on, Riston. Riston, me and her went to Johnson & Wells together. We go back to our days in the Johnson & Wells United Ensemble Gospel Choir. So, I'll fill you in. Don't worry about it. I'll get you up to speed. But yeah, so it really makes you put things in perspective on how, you have, your life could be so much different if you didn't fumble a lot of stuff. But at the same time, fumbling is not terrible neither in the end. Because one, you can learn from fumbling. And not only that, going back to what I was saying in the beginning about a football game. You ever watch somebody fumble the ball? Guess what? A team will fumble the ball and recover it. That's the good thing about fumbling. You can recover. It's not the end of your life. Life is not over. It doesn't stop because you fumble. You can recover. And that's where grace and mercy comes in. I thank God. I got to put my hands up for this one. I got to put my hands up. Because God has allowed me to recover from those fumbles in my life. And here's the thing. You might not recover the exact thing that you lost. However, he'll have you recover in another way. You fumbled on one job, guess what? You'll recover and he'll bless you with another job. Because now you done learned from fumbling from the previous job. You fumbled in ministry, okay, bam. He'll give you another opportunity to try again in the area that he called you in. Because you learned from that previous situation, you won't fumble again. You fumble in a relationship, okay, you and that individual, hey, y'all might not even get back together. Y'all might not even talk ever again in life. But guess what? Because of grace and mercy, he'll send somebody else your way to get to know, have a relationship with. Why? Because you fumbled that previous one, grace and mercy, now he blesses you with a new one. You don't learn. So we can recover from fumbling in life. It's not the end. I am living proof it's not the end. Because God has been a blessing beyond my fumbling. He has still been there for me, though I fumbled. When I dropped the ball. He's faithful. And that's why I praise him and I love him for it. Because guess what? He could have thrown me away a long time ago. He could have thrown any of us away a long time ago. When we mess up, when we fumble, when we don't do things correctly. But it's because of his love, his grace, and his mercy that he allows us to recover. Deacon, what's going on, brother? And he allowed me to recover. And he can allow you to recover. So guess what, y'all? All is not lost. It really isn't. You can still live your life though you fumbled the ball. That's my encouragement to you. Live. God got you. Just live. Just continue to live. God has you. That's it. Is anybody in the chat that want to share something? Anything that I said that stuck out? Your own experience about fumbling. Share away. Because y'all, there are people out here that really believe that life is over because they fumbled the ball. And we have to let people know, as long as you are living and breathing, you have the chance to recover. You can still win at life. There are, like I said, there are football teams that have fumbled a ball in the game, recovered the ball, and won the game. Just because you fumble doesn't mean you lose at life. And it doesn't make you a failure. A fumble is just a moment. A fumble does not measure your entire life. Don't allow the fumbles to make you believe that there's no more life to live. That's right. Even in the fourth quarter, inside the 2-minute warning, there's still time to recover from a fumble. That's correct. As long as there is time left on the clock, you can recover from a fumble. And our time left on the clock is each day we wake up. Each day we wake up is more time on the clock. You can still win at life. You can still recover that thing. I'm telling y'all, I'm living proof. All is not lost. In the moment, it feels like everything is lost, but all is not lost. And don't make the enemy think you have lost everything, because the enemy will trick you into believing you're done, you're finished, it's over. There's no comeback. You know how many people in the Bible fumbled and there was a comeback? Come on, y'all. There was a comeback. We have plenty of examples. Samson fumbled when he let Delilah know the secret to his strength. But he came back. You see, there's always one in the bunch. I'm trying to encourage, and somebody got to bring up Tom Brady and the Patriots. You know what? See, this is why. Yeah, you're right. Especially in those Brady days, we know. 2 minutes left on the clock. As long as Brady had time, he was winning the game. So we know about Tom Terrific. Thank you, Stacy, for reminding us of the glory years of the Patriots. Thank you. Appreciate it. But yeah, I'm telling y'all. But no, all is not lost. So y'all be encouraged. You know, y'all be encouraged about those fumbles. Learn from the fumbles. But most importantly, know that you can recover from the fumbles. Because God loves you. And your life is not defined by a fumble. Your life will be defined by how you recover and live on. So that's all I got tonight. See, 30 minutes, 32 minutes. 32 minutes. So, again, like I said, I'm not going to be no longer than 45 minutes. I might go 30, might go 45. Tonight, I give y'all 32 minutes. So, I thank y'all for hanging out with me tonight. Please, if you like this, let me know. I want your feedback. Share if you can. I thank you for the support. Next week, I don't know what I'm getting into. I'm leaning towards getting into men and mental health. That's where I'm leaning towards next week for episode number 2. And sisters, I want you to join as well, because guess what? You got cousins, brothers, uncles, fathers, grandfathers, whomever, any men that you're connected to. I want you to listen to, because men and mental health, and why is there hesitation sometimes for men to seek out mental health when they need it. That's what I might get into next week for episode number 2. That's right. If you trip, it doesn't mean you don't walk again, or no child will learn to walk. Stacy, that's a word. Thank you very much. But hey, thank you for tuning in. Hey, I'm always going to keep it honest every Monday night. Hey, until next week, y'all be blessed and have a safe week.